Hi, I'm Kira and I work with Jesse in Connections and Cheryl in our care ministry. And I'm standing right beside my running route. And I love to start the morning with a run right down the street here. And in the springtime, when we had regular in-person learning, I would have to be home by a certain time, whether it was to wake somebody up or get somebody ready for the bus. So my run fell along a pretty strict schedule. Well, when we started doing the remote learning, I enjoyed the freedom that went along with that. It was kind of relaxing. I would go out for a run. I didn't have to hurry back. So I found myself walking, whether to enjoy the rhododendrons or the cherry blossoms or just the beauty around here. So for a while, I just enjoyed that. And, spring turns into summer. And then I kept up with my running and walking. Well, one day, not too long ago, a lady called out from right across the street and she says, "Hey, what happened to your running?" Well, I didn't know this person, and this total stranger had called this out to me across the street, and it really gave me pause. It made me stop and think, well, what has happened to my running? And I realized something that had kind of started as relaxation and enjoyment in the spring was kind of evident of and echoing what was going on in my life. I think I was feeling a little down, I was dragging, I didn't have much pep in my step, and that was reflected in my walking time. So just this simple question by a stranger was able to make me stop and kind of contemplate what was going on with myself and maybe why that was happening. Around the same time, my 11-year-old, who had often used Xbox and online games for fun and socializing and communicating with his friends, well, we found that he was doing that an awful lot, and we sort of had allowed a lot of time to be had on the screens and playing with his friends, and that kind of turned into excess. And we noticed that he wasn't acting himself. He was maybe sad or down. The things that had interested him before, or things he loved to do, Nerf guns, Legos, bike rides around the neighborhood, just weren't really happening. And we took him to the bookstore, and he got an emoji flip chart that one day, and he, after a particularly difficult conversation, he flipped the chart and it said, "I am feeling overwhelmed." And I said, "Thank you, I am too." And so it was by kind of recognizing his behavior, having an awareness of his behavior, and not loving what he used to love, that we kind of said, hey, something's going on here. So also through the summer, I did a wonderful study of Psalm 23, and that of course is "The Lord is my shepherd." And that tied to John 10, where Jesus talks about Jesus says, "I am the good shepherd." And he talks about how the sheep recognize his voice, we hear his voice, we know his voice, we tune into his voice. And I think that has helped me to be mindful of, what am I tuning into? Is it emails or information or data or comments or Twitter? Where am I going with my attention? And how do I kind of get back into being mindful of the Good Shepherd and where he's leading me? So I would just like to say, maybe today, where are you seeking, or what are you listening to as far as, what are you listening to as far as yourself? Is there something going on? Maybe somebody asking you a question, a family member, a friend, or you're asking yourself a question, and through journaling or prayer time or spending time with God, you're contemplating something and kind of figuring it out. Or maybe it's the behavior of others, or sensing that something's kind of off. What was once a good thing has slid into kind of something else. And so I would say most importantly, just being mindful of the time with our Good Shepherd, and that when we kind of get off track, when things kind of slide into something that we don't intend for them to be, and we are having a hard time, maybe tuning into the message of our Good Shepherd, and taking the time with him. And I'm wearing this necklace that I got a few years ago after a tough running event. It's "She will run and not grow weary." It's Isaiah 40:31, but the pronoun has changed. And the lines that lead right up to it are pretty magnificent too. And it says, "We who hope in the Lord will renew our strength. We will soar on wings like eagles." And I would just like to say, I think we've all had some time where we probably felt weary and grown weary, but It's time for us to renew our strength. Let's forget running. Let's forget walking. We're going to soar on wings like eagles. Thank you for watching.